do this digitally or however you would like. I am going to give you a prompt, and then you are going to draw an image. We are going to look at professional artists and how they've used data portraits and things in their art that are current now. But today we're just going to practice and get it going like we would our automatic drawings. So for me, I'm going to think of my first data that I'm going to put down on my portrait. And remember, what is data? Can someone tell me, what does the word data mean? What is that? You can draw with a pencil. I'm going to use color, but what does data mean? Information, yes, info. Data is information and info. And in our society right now, we are very data driven. We're data driven in education. We're data driven in our society now, especially with everything that's going on with COVID. We're collecting data every day to try to see where we are as a society and this virus. We also collect data in education. I just collected data from you right now. Your name, your eye color, your hair color. Sorry, I left red off. I'll get that fixed. But, you know, I collected all of that data. So now we're going to use it to do our data portrait, but instead of a face, that's just going to be our data. I'm going to choose color, and the first thing that I'm going to do is my favorite color. So my favorite color is yellow. So I am going to fill in my image with yellow. Now it's your choice. You can do your favorite color or groups of colors. If you don't have color available, you could maybe write the word of your favorite color. In different sizes and different fonts. I am going to cover, I needed a larger workspace. I am going to cover my background with that color, but maybe you decide that you are going to add a shape or an image and fill it in with that color. So take a few moments and do that. Now I am using a large piece of paper. If you're worried about time and you want to only use half of the paper, you can fold it. I know that I said we're not folding these, and I am not going to fold it, but if you're intimidated by the size of this, you can fold it and do half of a sheet. The other half will just be white. And to answer your question, how do you fill it in? That is where the automatic drawing that we've been practicing, and that is where your personal preference as an artist comes in. If you have colored paper and you just want to switch from white to that color, switch from white to that color. This is your choice. Yes, you can use that. A dot marker would be great. A paint marker. You can use color pencils, crayons, oil pastels, a Sharpie. You can use whatever material you would like. I'm probably going to use a combination. Now, I really like yellow, but I also like patterns. I don't like for my backgrounds to be white. I don't like to have just solid blocks of color. And remember, for me, I am thinking about my work in that I'm saying, okay, I'm going to use yellow, but I'm not overthinking, I'm going to put a mark here. I'm going to put a mark here. I'm not overthinking that part because we want for this to be automatic. The first thing that comes to your mind. Let's see, where's that color that I just had in my hand? Here it is. So my favorite color is yellow, but I am going to add this kind of burgundy reds to the background because while my favorite color is yellow, my signature color is this burgundy red. And what I mean by that is, like Pablo Picasso had a blue period, I have, yes, you can add different types of your favorite colors. When I had a red period, And I did a lot of artwork and paintings that were in this like burgundy color. And I painted with that predominantly for a long period of time, right? Again, I'm just doing automatic images. I filled mine up. You don't have to. This is yours, right? What are we going to be drawing in front and on the background? Different types of data. I'm not telling you yet, and I didn't show you an example on purpose because I didn't want to influence your final design. I'm actually a little bit nervous about showing you what I'm creating because I don't want for it to influence what you're making. So I love these metallic Sharpies. I'm going to come in and add a little bit of shimmer. But again, in that same color tone. And I'm going to add a little hint of silver just for contrast, right? Now this is me being done, but you might not be done with your background, so I'm going to give you just another minute, okay? They didn't mean to, sweetie. Just rejoin your class, okay? That's okay. If you need help, go to Papa. So this is mine here. And just so you can see, your first one is your favorite color. No. Well, that's a good question. Your background color needs to be light enough that you can still draw and add things on top of each other. Add images on top of each other. That's why I'm using the markers, because they layer really well. If you do, you don't have to restart. If you have like a solid block of color here, then that is fine. Sorry, I was reading this. So that's okay if you have a solid block, or again, if you just have sections. That's why I was hesitant to show my example, because I filled up my background. I don't want for you to think that you have to fill your entire background up, right? That is not a requirement. It's a personal preference. Okay. Now, it is time for our next data. So we started with the favorite color, of course, because I am an artist, so that's what I'm doing. Now you're going to do your age. You can show your age with a symbol. That's okay if you're not finished. You'll catch up, I promise. You can show your age with some type of a symbol. So you can show it with dots, 1 dot for every year. You could show it with marks or with hashtags, right? Whatever symbol you use, you need to show your age, right? I do not want for you to write the actual number. Now, if you've written the number, that's fine, but I want for you to use a symbol to show your data. So I am a lot older than everybody in here, and I am going to use this to show my age. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if I'm going to have room to fit my age. So the way that I'm showing mine is I'm going to do a series of lines until I run off the page, and then I'll add another one. Oh. I'm really getting up there. All right, I just made it. So I have put a line for each year right here. And that is the way that I showed my age. Right? And I'm going to put a mark here. And then I'm going to put a mark here. Now, so that you don't forget this on a separate sheet, it does not have to take up the whole page. See mine? Mine just is in this section. It does not have to take up the whole page. On either the back of your paper in pencil, do not use marker if it's on the back of your paper, it will bleed through. Or on a separate sheet, start to record your data. This is like your legend in a map. This is your key. Favorite color, yellow. Age. And I showed that I used that line for my age. I'm 43, so I made 43 marks. Right? And that's what I did for that one. Now, we are going to do where you were born.
I already did all of my work.
No, I'm not 45. I just had a birthday last week. I turned, see, what year is it? 2020? I turned 43 last week. Yep. Okay. So, oh, thank you. So here, my next one, where I was born, out of state, out of the country, or NC. Now you pick what you want to represent that. So for me, when I think of North Carolina, which is where I was born, I think of cardinals, our state bird, a red cardinal. Plus, I really like feathers. So for me, I'm going to make a feather, right, as my symbol. Thank you, Dalen. I'm going to make a feather as my symbol for the state of North Carolina to say that I was born there.
All of my homework.
But also, I was born in the mountains. So maybe I want to have a mountain as my symbol or a snowflake as my symbol. Maybe I want to use the state flag. Maybe I don't want to list that I was born in North Carolina at all, but I want to list that I was born in the United States. So maybe I do a flag or a star. You pick that symbol, okay? And add that in. You choose. Are you going to add that in once, or are you going to add it in multiple times? You're the artist here, and you are creating your own portrait. So think about how you're going to represent that.
Oh my God, here. Or if you can erase it.
Let's see. I'm going to add in now. And I'm going to add in a feather, but I think I'm going to turn my paper around. No, I'm going to turn it to the side. You can rotate this paper. That's the beauty of this kind of work. There's really no wrong answer. Since it's automatic, you just create. Plus, I really like feathers, so I'm going to add a couple little details to my feathers with the color that I want.
I'm done with my homework. I'm done.
Okay, in case you didn't hear, my daughter is done with her homework. She's excited about that and wants for everybody to know. And then I'm going to use my white gel pen and start to add in just a couple little highlights just to see that. I will, Jamie. I will tell her that you said good job. She's excited about it. Plus, she knows that she'll be able to play with her Legos when she gets her work done. Okay. Are we ready for the next one? I don't want to go too fast. You ready for the next one? Okay. Not yet. All right. I'll wait then. Maybe I'll add some, maybe not some feathers, but some little wisps. I mean, some little something. Okay. I don't know. I don't like that very much now, but I'll work on it. Oh. This looks like it's becoming more of a flame. Sometimes you can overwork an automatic drawing if you start to think about it too much, which is what I did. I'll pull it together in the end. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, are we ready for the next one? Here's our next one. AM or PM. Now, I know somebody said I am neither a morning person or a night owl. So if you're having trouble with this, okay, if you're not ready, it's quite all right. I'll introduce it for those that are done. And then I'll give a little bit of extra time. If you're not a morning person or a night person, a night owl, early bird, night owl, and you're having trouble thinking of that, think about time. You can represent it with how do you use your time? What time works the best for you? Now, I don't want for you to make a clock. I want for you to think about, maybe I spend the most time reading. Yes. Oh, that would be perfect for you, Kate. Like if you were a night person and you wanted to draw a bat, that would be perfect. Or an owl, or a tree, or an owl's nest, or a mouse. Like you see how you can take it lots of places. You could decide, you know what? I don't want to draw a specific symbol. I'm going to use for a night owl, I'm going to use the color black. Because black at night is dark. So that's what I want to use. For AM, maybe I would use something bright. Maybe if I am neither one of these and it's stumping me and I pick time, maybe for that I draw a symbol or something that represents how I spend most of my time during the day. But some type of data for you that deals with day and your time. Does that make sense to everybody? Is that good? Yes? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Yay, okay, good. Okay, good. So I'm going to, I don't know what I feel with this. I've got to pull it together. But again, this is automatic, so I'm just going to create. I'm going to add in my feathers. Add in a little dark here to my feathers. Okay. And then I am a night owl. If you ever notice, most of the stuff y'all get from me comes really late at night. I've always been that way. I don't sleep a lot. So I'm going to use black for me. Yep. I have some people going, yeah, that's me. And I'm going to represent night by just the same type of line and mark making that I have in my background, because I feel like because I don't sleep, it kind of goes through and affects my day. So I'm going to put it all through my picture. I'm even going to have it overlap with some of my feathers here so that they look like they're kind of fading in space. Right. I'm going to get I'll even put a couple horizontal, but I don't want to put too many horizontal because I don't want it to be visually any more distracting than it is. Okay. I'm also going to add in a little bit of white. And you can use a gel pen, but my gel pen isn't showing up enough. So I'm going to you can get a paint pen, which works great if you have one. And I did have one right here, but apparently I took it out. So I'm going to use a whiteout pen. These work fantastic for adding in those highlights. You have to squeeze it a little. This one's kind of new. There we go. And I'm going to put in a little bit of white in my nighttime because even though I am a night person, my children are not. So it makes me have to adjust and let a little bit more of the day in. But I struggle with it. I'm not gonna lie. I am a night person. Right, so I'm adding in just a little bit of that. And you can keep adding those details in there. Okay, I have one more data to add. So I'm going to go ahead and share that last bit of data so that you can work on it. I know you're probably not done with time. Some people might be done. Some people might not be and need, well, a little bit more time. But I'm going to share with you that last little bit of data so that you can start to kind of wrap this up. If you don't finish it in class, it is okay. This is not due until Monday. I am going to turn in what I complete in class because you have that automatic drawing, and if you overwork it, like at some point you just have to stop. So what I do in class today is what I'm going to submit. I'm not going to work on it after because that's part of that automatic time. I just want to create it and not overthink it. So my last bit is when I'm going to give information, and you get to choose, about your family. Like, how many siblings do you have? See, for me, I wouldn't enter my siblings. I would enter in family information about my husband and my daughters. Or you pick your pets. And think about how you are going to represent this. I have one sister, but she doesn't live with me in my home. A lot of you probably have siblings that do live with you or don't live with you in your home. But it's up to you on how you want to represent your family or if you want to. So I have 3 daughters and my one husband. So there are 5 of us in this house together. But I also help my parents. So that's 7. So for here, I could create some type of symbol for my family. And like I did with the lines for my age, I could do a symbol for each one that's different. Or maybe I just want it to be as simple as, because I have 5 people live in my house, maybe I just want to do 5 dots. Maybe I want to do an emoji. I don't know. You just think about what that is. You can also include your pets. We were talking about pets at the beginning of the class, like those are part of your family. So we currently have 2 fish, a hamster, and a dog. So I could think about how I would want to represent my pets. And remember, these are a choice. You can do just your pets, you can do just your family, or you can do a combination of both. So for my daughter's hamster, I could do like their paw prints or something, but I don't know. That seems, to me, I don't think it's not going to work for me. But maybe with my hamster, I could do like these 3 lines to like represent her whiskers. Maybe for my dog, he has this really cool like freckle spots. So maybe I would do dots for him if I chose to do them. Or maybe I would simplify it even more, and my daughter's hamster is gray. Maybe I'd just do the gray color for her. My dog is white and different kinds of spots, so maybe I would do the brown with black spots. There are lots of ways that you could represent this. So this is your last bit of data. You have included 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 pieces of data in your data portrait. Okay? Are there any questions about this? Any questions at all? What were the other datas? Here you go. Your datas are favorite color or colors, your age, if you were born in North Carolina or out of state, out of the country, if you were a morning person or night person, if you're neither or that's not clear cut for you and you'd rather do something with how you spend your time, then you can do that. And then your family and or your pets, or just your pets, you pick. Those are your datas. I am going to have this list for you in the assignments that I share with you in Canvas so that you can see this list. This is what I was trying to put in the chat, that it wouldn't load up. So that you can see this list, but it will be in your assignments too. Now, let's see. I would like for you to have a list. If you don't write it down, then you can list it as your comments in the Canvas. Under comments, when you submit your picture, you can list it there. But I would like to be able to know what your data is. So that's why I wrote mine down, so I can just take a picture. And it's okay if it doesn't fill the page. It's like an automatic drawing. Yeah, there's no wrong answer here. If you draw small, it's okay. That's part of your data, that you drew it small. And I am going to represent my family. I realized that I don't have my family or my pets here. So I am going to represent those. And I'm going to do mine with their colors that represent them. And add those in. Since I have these 3 large diagonals here, I think I'm going to do something in this area and keep it at a diagonal so that it'll kind of flow together. But this has become my emphasis, and it's like a bullseye here. So I'm going to do something to kind of tie all of that in and how I represent my daughters. Right? So before you go, class, next week, you need to turn this in by Monday. And over the weekend, I would like for you to pick your favorite piece that you have done. Whether it's your data portrait, your automatic drawings. I told you today to get your 4 favorite, and we didn't get quite to that, so we'll do that on Monday. Dalen said that he drew a house with each of his siblings in a room, and that was great. That's a good example. But get this completed over the weekend and get your favorite piece and have that ready for next week when we start our final data portrait, automatic drawings, and everything.